glasses.
I wouldn't say those words. Do you know why? And I wouldn't say what we were saying because we're now live. But do you know how I know you had glasses? Because I took them off of someone else and
Oh,
put
you
them
made me
on
wear
me.
glasses. Yeah.
And I said, you look like... And you refused to let me take a photo because you were live.
Yep.
And I was there as a... I think I was there as a banana. Because
You got a banana, yeah.
I got a
Blow up
photo
banana thing.
Slack trying to pick me up or picking me up. Anyway, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome. It wasn't blow up banana. It's just a felt question. Good evening,
Okay.
ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another 42 level one.
Banana's a banana.
Was that Nelson's part? I think it was.
Banana's a banana.
No, because a blow up banana is very different from a felt banana. Good.
Is it? Is it though?
Yeah, because you can't bust a felt banana.
Oh, okay.
That's
Yeah.
a good album title for an indie band. Good. We'll start the blooming show. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I can't even remember my interview. My intro. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another 42 level one. I'm your host. I'm one of your hosts, Alistair Kennedy. Here with me, as always, the former Twilight Princess of all games, the current Twilight Princess of YouTube, the Uncharted 3 liar and denier, the man of many names that we just call him one, Andy.
Best time of the here as always. You can call me Plant fucking 42 this week, mate. Plant 42. That's what you call me.
that was a bad intro, man. It's been like a 2 week off, and this is what it comes to. Like, I haven't even took a sip yet. I can't even blame that.
Oh my god, it's red wine. Oh, the red wine days are back.
No, they're not. They're not back. But I think it's just spending the last. I think it is just spending the last month with the kids myself. That's drove me absolutely insane.
You've forgotten how to talk to normal people.
Well, screw to you as well. Then we'll need to get another person on the show.
Fair.
So yeah, what the? You want to buy a cat? I'm selling one at least.
I mean, I wouldn't pay any money for that cat. Like it seems fucking annoying.
It is an annoying cat. Bond is very frustrating. So yes, we are back. We were off last week. I've definitely played some games. I finished a TV show as well. We'll talk about a bit spoiler free because I know a lot of you haven't seen it, and Andy's only watched the first episode. I do plan on covering
2 episodes.
You've watched 2 episodes now, cool. So I do plan on covering it a bit more with our esteemed friend, Mr. Fred Rojas, down the line at some point. We're going to do some Resident Evil stuff soon, I think. So that will be coming. But yes, so I forgot to cancel my order, Andy, this week for a game. We're going to talk about PSVR 2 because there's some announcements today. That's the title of the show. We've got new news, our newest news. Like, Xenoblade 3's out in like 2 days. And I forgot to cancel my order, so it's on its way. I haven't even finished the first one or the second one. I did plan on trying to do this, but I think I started my journey to doing that too late. Way too late.
Yep.
However, I am about 20 hours into Xenoblade Chronicles 1.
Oh, nice.
Switch version. This is a good game. Like, and this is the thing. I've liked this game on all 3 console systems that I have owned it on. I had it on the Wii originally. I didn't get the red controller version. I just had it because I'm sure it came with like a red classic controller, the Xenoblade Chronicles on the Wii. I just did the standard version. And then it came to the new 3DS only. And I had it there, and I was like, it's great, but it's bloody and muddy and all washed out, and they added new stuff to it. And then they announced it for the Switch, and I was like, do you know what? I'm not that bothered. I didn't finish Xenoblade 2, and then Xenoblade Chronicles 3 comes out of nowhere like an RKO from Randy Orton and looks all kinds of phenomenal. And it apparently ties both the games together, and I'm like, I need to play this one, but I can't because I'm not finished 2. And I'm further in 2 than 1, but I think I'm probably going to restart 2 at this point. So okay. 1, like I'm further than I've ever been in this game. It's not the longest of RPGs. You're not talking hundreds of hours here like Zelda's or Skyrim's. You're maybe talking between 40 and 70 hours is what I've seen. Could be longer if you decide to do everything. What I like about it is when you pick up a side quest, you don't have to return to that person because that is one of my biggest bugbears in JRPGs. Like Dragon Quest was quite bad for that. You had to go back to the person that gave you the quest to get the quest rewards, and turn it in. Now, the reason that I like that is because the side quests, while you could get right into the lore and like, oh great, I really want to know, I don't feel the side quest is in depth as something like The Witcher 3 that really enhances the story. These are just things that are going on at the same time. Like if you meet a wee group of guys and they're like, oh, those bandits, can you go and kill them for us? I'm like, well, if I'm going that way and I see it on my map, I'll go and kill them. If I don't see it, your quest's getting left forever. And the reason is because I'm moving forward constantly, because I don't remember it being in the original versions, Andy, but this version has like your line like Fable, you know, your breadcrumb style arrow trail to where you're meant to be going.
Yeah. Mhm.
The other good thing for this being a JRPG, when you kick it back up, you can click ZR at any point for a story recap. So I'm like, I don't really know where I'm at just now. I'm in the middle of a field. You click ZR and it tells you exactly what you've just been doing. Fantastic. I also like the fact that the I don't remember the name of it. Every time we say it, some morph, you know, when you can keep the same items on, but it's a different item. I'm sure I spoke about this before.
Transmog.
Transmog, it's not morph. So I like that, and I said that 2 weeks ago when we were on the show, that was a nice feature, because Shulk's one of those characters that it's like, that's how he looks. Like,
Yep.
it wouldn't look right with Cloud and anything but he's purple or blue or black, you know that, until he's wearing a dress, obviously. But like most of the time, he's got a standard look.
Yep.
So I don't want to be picking up, like, I haven't found the full set of armor, so I've got like an army chest plate and like a sailor's hat or whatever. Like, I want Shulk to look like Shulk.
Yep.
So the fact they've got that in, it's great. I like the chain system. Like I said before, it's very much like Kingdom Hearts, but instead of press the button, do the action, it's more like Final Fantasy 12, I think I described it as, where you're still moving about and you have to queue up your attacks. Position does matter in these, like some attacks are better from the side or at the back, but it will tell you. But if you can get a chain attack link, that's when one of them can knock down the enemy, one of them can stun them, and one of them can like use their weapon to do a status effect on them. So I'm currently making my way up the Bionis, which is the giant massive creatures that the people stay on in these games. It doesn't look like a creature, obviously, when you're on it. When it zooms out, the cutscenes you do, but I'm pretty sure we spoke about it before. Was it Deep Game Research did it, where he zoomed out and at all points you can see both giant creatures?
Oh no, it was Boundary Break.
Yeah,
She says, yeah.
wherever you are on that map, you could be on like a middle of a field, not knowing you're on something, and if you pull the camera out, you can see it. So I really like it. I'm hoping to get through it quick, but I got distracted with my second game on holiday that I'll talk about when you're speaking later on about it. But like Xenoblade Chronicles, if you're one of these people that only really like Final Fantasy, Zelda, and you don't really like anymore, and some of these Japanese RPGs are weird, crazy things, Xenoblade Chronicles is right up your street. It's one of those, it's hard to describe, but it feels obviously like a AAA franchise rather than, you know, some of these Japanese RPGs that come out that just feel like B-level titles, and there's so many of them. This one, like, I mean, come on, they featured the characters in Smash Brothers. It says that the game's doing something right. So it's only available, the game Xenoblade Chronicles 1 is available obviously on the Wii, on the 3DS and Switch, but the Switch version is the best because it's the definitive version. It's got the up-res graphics, which look really, really good for a game of its age. Xenoblade Chronicles 2 again is only on Switch, and Xenoblade 3, so it's not a game that you're going to get on other platforms. And Xenoblade Chronicles 3 looks absolutely phenomenal. It leaked. That was our first news story, Andy. There was a leak. Leaks. Mario, get your wrench. Mario. That was awful. Probably better than Chris Pratt's going to do, but yeah. I'm Chris Pratt. I'm Mario. That's what it's going to sound like. Hi, I'm Chris Pratt. I'm Mario. It's a me, Chris Prattio. So, like, you can emulate Switch now, obviously, and you can emulate Switch on Steam Deck, and Xenoblade Chronicles 3 somehow leaked. Somebody obviously got an early copy, and they obviously burnt the files from the cartridge onto the PC, and people for the last week have been playing Xenoblade Chronicles 3 on the Switch. There's already mods out for it to improve things, which is insane. Nintendo are going to go apeshit about these things. They really are, because look what they did about their old games that they're not even fucking selling anymore, Andy. Like the SNES games. Guy get fined millions of dollars. Another guy went to jail. They shut down half the ROM sites on the internet. Not just ones that had theirs. They shut them down. They just closed for fear. And now people are stealing their game that isn't even out yet. Nintendo ain't going to take that line down. Trust me on that. If you get that you're fucked. If you get caught that you're the one that did that, there's no polite way to say it. you're going to get fucked.
So what do you think of these people that like steal the game like this?
I don't think it's like so. I've got a different opinion with like ROMs for SNES and NES that are no longer
Yeah, yeah,
commercially
yeah.
available. It's a
Mhm.
bit like the only way for me to pick up these games are like second-hand retailers or car boot sales. So Nintendo's getting no money anyway because they don't have licenses to sell them.
Yep.
I think those are fair game if it's a dead console. See, for a game that's not even out yet, like I don't agree with that at all. Like you're you're potentially like I know they're like, oh, but they're worth millions and millions. You're potentially canceling franchises like
Mhm.
by doing things like this. Xenoblade isn't as big as Zelda. Xenoblade isn't as big as like Final Fantasy. Xenoblade could go. Well, you didn't sell enough. You're not getting another. There's going to be at least a
Mhm.
few thousand people already playing it that ain't going to cough up the £60 to buy it because they're playing
Yep.
it already on what appears to be a Switch with mods to make it look shinier. I think these guys are gonna like Nintendo's gonna end up doing something drastic. Like I don't know about DRM or what they're gonna do, but something's gonna happen down the line, and it's not gonna be good for anyone. And it's gonna be because of these people. Um, so I've got different opinions because like SNES and NES games, if I can't physically buy it from Nintendo and play it on a current console that's available to buy in a shop also without being second hand, I should be able to play that game. Like
Yep.
if I can't give you my money, then I don't see anything wrong with finding another way of playing it. That
I think, yeah, I totally agree. Like, I think that's a good point for like archiving, like old
yeah,
games and shit like that. They should be available to be played somewhere because you do see like YouTube videos or whatever, and you're like, oh, that game looks cool. I'd love to play that. Like, let me look it up on PlayStation. Oh, it's not there. Let me look it up on Switch. Oh, it's not there. Let me look it up on Xbox. Oh, it's not there. Let me look up on Steam. It's not there. Right. Okay. So I'm going to need to go out with the norm of being able to just buy the
right.
game that I want to play. And like, yeah, a lot of the time it will be like, oh, I need to go and get it from somewhere, like a ROM site or whatever. But yeah, like stuff like this new game coming out,
Not even out yet.
not even out yet. Even when it comes out, right? So like, even say even 4,000 people played it through this, right? four
It's four
thousand, which
thousand
is
times 60, plus any
yeah,
potential season passes that come off the back of that.
yeah. So I'm gonna say conservative, like 50, right? 50, because if they manage to pick it up in like a good deal or whatever, you
Yeah,
could probably get it for 50 there or thereabouts. So that's £200,000.
that's a lot of money. That's nearly quarter of a million.
That's a hell of a lot of money. Hell of a lot of money. And
Yes,
even if you think of like half those people, right, they probably wouldn't have bought it anyway, right? They probably wouldn't have bought it because they don't want to spend the money. But half the other half of the people, like those are people that are like, oh, I would buy this, but I can actually get it for free and save myself the money. So I'm going to just do that instead. And so you've lost £100,000.
I
Like
would. I
the other
think you're
£100,000.
lowballing this. I think you're
Well,
lowballing it.
I probably am. Yeah,
I would.
definitely I'm lowballing it, right? But
I
like
wouldn't
even
say
a
by
hundred
two.
thousand pounds,
No, I
it's an
wouldn't say
insane
that.
amount of money.
I wouldn't say you're
Insane.
lowballing it by too much, but I would say right now Nintendo's lost £250,000 before the game's
Mm.
out. With the people that, are, like you said, but see these people that have downloaded it from curiosity. If they didn't have the option and people were talking about it, this is the reason they've downloaded it. So they might end up buying it to try it out.
Hmm.
So
Yep.
Nintendo have lost. I would say Nintendo right now are minus £250,000 before the game's fucking out.
Yeah.
I would say that.
Which sucks. And like, I'm not a fan of Xenoblade, but I honestly don't want to see this to happen to any game ever. Like I don't want any game to get pirated ever. I don't think. Because whoever made the game has put like time and effort into it. That's their fucking job, or all their hobby if they're doing it as a
Uh,
back thing. Like,
unless the game's no longer commercially available through
yeah,
any
like
way.
yeah, and like an old game's old game. Like so, the people that made
Like
that
cool
game,
spot.
they've yeah, they've already been paid for that game. They've made their money off of it. That's done. But like current game now, you should not be fucking pirating games.
No.
Like games are not that dear, and like if you need to wait, buy it later on down the line.
For even the £60, like for the 100 odd hours you're gonna get out of Xenoblade Chronicles 3, like you don't get that value at the cinema. Like so
Hmm.
yeah, it's I don't agree with them at all. Talking of the cinema, I did go to the cinema for the first time
I
in
heard you went to the cinema. Yeah, I was
years
shocked.
because it's a cinema where there's not. It's a Speyside cinema in Aviemore. It's part of a hotel. Like I had to go and chap a door to get the guy to come and put the film on.
That's cool. I like that though. That's cool.
So it was
It's
fine, but the movie was terrible. We went to see the Minions 2 because Lexi's been wanting
mm,
to see that, as you know, for 2 years now. Um, because she got the Happy Meal toys from it. Now McDonald's don't even do Happy Meal toys
mm.
anymore here, but The film's awful. Like, I don't mind the
Yeah.
Despicable Me movies, right? 1, 2, 3 is fine. Minions is okay. Minions 2 is just terrible. Really not a great film. The next one they're doing those Despicable Me 4 in a couple of years, so that'll be a bit better. And I think Lexi prefers it with the girls, and Gru and Lucy.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Minions 2 was not good. I also watched Jurassic World 3, Andy.
In the same
Minions.
cinema.
No, not the same cinema.
Okay.
Minions 2 is better than Jurassic World 3. And I'm very
Hey.
forgiving of Jurassic World and Park. Really, really bad. I was talking to you the other night about it. I won't spoil too much, but everyone who's seen Fallen Kingdom knows dinosaurs are out in the real world now. So I was like, how's the world coping? Well, you get 10 minutes of that, and then guess what? There's another park. And I said, I wonder if something's going to go wrong. I won't spoil it, but you don't see the rest of the world again. Like, it's all in the park from the point they go to the park. And I was like,
yeah.
but I wanted to see them. Like, you got maybe a 10-minute kind of recap of, oh, dinosaurs are everywhere now. Look at them.
Yep.
Look at them. Like, the bit in the trailer where you see, like, the T-Rex at the cinema and stuff like that?
Yeah.
That's it. That's your limit. And then there's another park. They go in a helicopter to another park, Andy.
All right. This is the last one, isn't it? In that
Yes,
in the
thankfully.
series, basically.
That one was absolutely awful, and I didn't really enjoy Fallen Kingdom. I think after the fourth one, it
didn't
was
like
kind of done. Like Jurassic World was, seeing it at the cinema,
Really good.
the monorail coming round. They did
Yep.
everything perfect. In this film, everything was bad. Like, I didn't even enjoy Jeff Goldblum in it. Like, not that they were in it that long. It's like, let's get the old cast back, and what will we do with them? Make them steal giant grasshoppers from what looks like Tim Cook, the guy that works for Apple. That's what they did. It's like, I don't want to see that. Anyway, and the CGI in this, every movie the CGI gets worse. Like, it's horrible. It looks terrible in this, and I'm like, this is $1 billion movie. It's already made like decent money, name of value alone, and it's literally like, do you think anyone will care? It's like, it's Jurassic Park. Folk are going to see it. I guarantee that was said at some point when folk. Because it's shit, shoddy.
That's a shame.
Real shame, because they could have ended on a high note. Because Jurassic Parks are kind of like this. Like, there's some that I don't enjoy as much as others, but they're all a fun ride. I did not enjoy this one, and it's annoying.
You know what I think is kind of like a shame with those movies, right? Like the first one, Jurassic World, they just about got it right, but I think they definitely focused a bit too much on like Chris Pratt's character as like an action hero, whereas like in the yeah, and then the second one was like that as well. But like in the old movies, like those guys were not action heroes. They were like they were archaeologists, like dinosaur experts and whatnot. They were just like interesting people.
Yeah, in the second one, you had Jeff Goldblum. It was the same thing. He was a chaos theorist or something. And then in the third one, you had Alan Grant back again. So it made sense.
Yeah.
And this one, it's like, there was one part, and sorry, minor spoilers, but you know the Dilophosaurus, the spit things?
Yeah.
They make their triumphant comeback. I'm not joking. These things have got a neck the size of my body. Like, they're
insane. Those things are, man. Scary as hell. Terrifying.
Chris Pratt comes along, strangles one, throws it to the ground after the girl tases it, but their teeth. He whistles at it like he's like a shepherd, and it runs away. Like, so.
Does he have the magic flute thing, the magic velociraptor flute that Alan Grant had?
No, he doesn't. It's like, you know how they kind of did that, and I bought it a bit, right? That he was training Blue. He trained Blue.
Yeah.
Fine, but the fact that he can go skit, and a Dilophosaurus who's hungry runs off. Maybe it's because he just seen you fucking strangling the other one. He strangled a dinosaur though. Like,
I don't think that's very believable. Oh, lost your sound there.
Yeah. They're sci-fi films, right? Can you hear me now? They're sci-fi films. Yeah. But he strangled a dinosaur. There is a line.
Yeah. I mean, I think the whole thing of it, like, being dinosaurs back in the real world, right? You can only really have, like, the one thing like that, like, because that's the shtick for the movie. Is like, what if dinosaurs were in the real world?
Yeah,
what would it be like?
It's not the stick for the movie, because 10 to 15 minutes, it might be 20 minutes in, they go to a fucking park.
Well, no, but I mean, like the whole Jurassic
Yeah.
World Park stuff. It's like, what if dinosaurs came back? Like, what would it be like? What would people? How would people react to them? It's not superheroes taking on dinosaurs. It's
No,
not
but
fucking
this
Captain America
every
versus
mo- yeah,
dinosaur, is
but
it?
every
Like,
movie has felt like an audition tape for Chris Pratt for another
yeah,
role. And
yeah.
there's a scene in this in Malta where they go to try and rescue Blue and the girl, and it's like Uncharted the movie. It's like he was
Mm.
disappointed that he didn't get cast as Indiana Jones and he didn't get the Uncharted movie. So Chris Pratt wanted to go to Malta to run across rooftops, and I'm like, why the fuck am I watching this? Like, there's no
Yeah,
there is dinosaurs there, but they're in an auction house, and it's more focused on him running across rooftops,
yeah.
punching guys, and being like a dusty superhero. It's like I want to see the dinosaurs. It's a
Yep.
dinosaur movie,
Mhm.
and I'm getting sick of Chris Pratt. And this Chris Pratt wasn't. I don't hate Chris Pratt, but in this movie, Chris Pratt was not good. Chris Pratt.
Do you know what? Like I seen Thor: Love and Thunder, and he wasn't good in that either. He wasn't in it for very long, thankfully, but he was not good in it.
Yeah, I think the last film I enjoyed with him in it was probably Guardians 2,
Yep.
which was a while
I
ago now.
mean, that was before. Was that after Jurassic World? I think it was.
Yeah, it was after Jurassic World,
Yeah.
before Fallen
Jurassic
Kingdom.
World 1. I
Yeah,
did like Jurassic World
Jurassic
1,
World
but
1 was
like,
great. That was his kind of big breakout movie.
no, Guardians was before that.
Was it?
Guardians 1. Yeah, Guardians 1 was
Oh,
before
yeah,
that.
of course it was. And then
Yeah.
obviously Disney owned. No, they don't. Universal owned Jurassic World.
Yeah.
He did good in Jurassic World 1. Jurassic World. But even Jurassic World 1 was just a bit too much. A guys
It was
eating raptors.
he was good enough in Jurassic World 1, but yeah, like the whole shit of him riding the bike with the raptors and all that, like
Yeah, he
that
does
was
it again in
pushing it.
this one. And
Yeah.
like, no, but it's worse. Like even that's like that's not as bad as strangling a fucking ready to spit the venom Dilophosaurus. It's like
How did he strangle it? It's got a fucking
he
big like
put his
white
hands
thing
round
on
its
it.
neck.
What about its big ruffle
Never mind
thing?
that. Its neck is pure fucking muscle.
Yeah.
Like, and this is
Oh.
a guy who's looking kind of pot bellied in this one, graying, and you're strangling a dinosaur, man. Like, and then you shoo away another one. Like, that wouldn't happen. The other one would have attached. It was really bad. Like, see that moment, I was like, I need to watch it because it's Jurassic World, but this is not a good film. So yeah, I've seen Jurassic World. What else did I watch? I watched Lightyear.
Oh, okay.
I liked it. I
Okay.
really liked
What,
that.
do you think you liked it because Jurassic World and Minions sucked?
Maybe.
You were like, oh, this
But
is
I'm going to
alright.
watch it again. I
Okay.
want to watch it again. And to clear up any confusion of it, at the start of the movie, it says, I think it says in 1995, a boy named Andy went to see a movie. He got the toy for that movie for his next birthday, and it was his favourite toy. This is the movie Andy saw. So that's how this movie works. It's an in-universe
Yep.
movie. So Andy, before Toy Story 1, seen this film and then wanted Buzz Lightyear for his birthday. That cleared up so much for me because I was kind of confused about how this film was working, but that's what it is. So
But
it's
wait. Isn't it Chris Pratt in this?
no, it's
Is it not?
Captain America. It says
Oh, it's Chris Evans in it.
Chris
Right,
Evans.
okay.
And
That explains
he's
it.
nice. I like him.
Yeah. He's America's ass.
No, he's really good in it. Actually, he's really good in this. Not Josh Brolin, James Brolin, is it? The older one. James Brolin plays a character in this as well. I don't want to ruin it because there is a twist in this movie that I really enjoyed. So, yeah, I like the film. Like, the problem is, I think it's for our age. Because I watched bits of it, Lexi was bored as fuck, right? She loves Toy Story. You know she loves Toy Story. Like, even Leo started... I sent you photos the other day of both my kids playing with the toys now. Lexi's did the toys for years now. And she was like, this isn't Buzz Lightyear, Daddy. I'm like, it is. And she's like, where's the rest of the toys? And I'm like, and I explained it to her, and she went and rolled her eyes at me. And as I was watching it, it's not that it's too adult. I'm like, there's no... There's no music in it. It's a sci-fi movie based on a toy character. And I'm like, I don't know what audience this is for. I think that's a big problem for it. Because it's not the best movie I've ever seen. But I watched it, I went, do you know what? That was really good. Like, for what it was, I would watch more of that, or I would watch a follow-on TV series. The guy that made this is also the guy that I'm sure did the cartoon Buzz Lightyear in the Space and Star Command or Space Rangers.
Yeah,
Remember?
that cartoon is actually all right. That
So
was okay.
he said the way it works is that this movie would have been the first Buzz thing in that universe, and the cartoons also in universe. So that would be the cartoon version that was on the TV Andy watched.
Oh yeah, okay. Yeah.
So, yeah,
That's cool.
I do like it. I finished it up and I was like, why is there not a video game of Lightyear? And I'm not being ironic, like
I
totally.
mean, there's Buzz Lightyear video games.
One out now called Lightyear about that.
Oh,
No,
now.
not not Toy Story. I'm talking about this movie specifically. I want to play in that world. Like I'm like, there's the ship. Obviously, that's not a spoiler. There's Buzz Lightyear. There's the Space Rangers. There's Star Command. Why can't I play that?
I'm pretty sure there was just a Buzz Lightyear game.
No, Andy. There's not a Lightyear game. There's a Buzz Lightyear.
Not
from
for
Toy Story.
right now. Yeah, like an
There
old
was a
game.
Buzz.
Yeah.
There was one based off the cartoon.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of. Yeah.
And there was Toy Story 2, which is phenomenal. Toy Story 3, which was meh. Toy Story 1 was in the Mega Drive and was alright. Toy Story 2 is currently on PlayStation.
Toy Story 3 was good.
No, it
The
wasn't.
game.
It was
because it had the
a
sand.
prototype
It
for
had the
Disney Infinity.
sandbox for Disney
Prototype for
Infinity.
Disney Infinity.
It was good.
It wasn't as good as
I liked
Disney
it.
Infinity. Wasn't as good.
It wasn't, but like I liked it still.
But Toy Story 2 was spot on. But like that's because Toy Story 2 is the best Toy Story movie that exists. So. It is. You know it is. You're just saying that.
Well, I'm not.
Because you've
I'm
got
just trying to think.
Jesse, you've got Woody's Roundup, you've got the Prospector, you meet Zurg for the first time.
Yeah, you're probably right.
I'm
actually.
right.
Yeah.
Toy Story 2 is the best. There's no argument. The one's really good though. One is good. That was the original. But like 2's the best out of them all. 4 wasn't as good as it thought it was. The graphics in it, the animation in it's phenomenal. But yeah, Lightyear. Anyway, I absolutely love this film.
So I watched 2 movies that I want to tell you about as well. So I watched Thor: Love and Thunder first. It's all right. Like it's not as good as Thor Ragnarok.
But Thor Ragnarok's like god tier Marvel movie.
Thor Ragnarok, it's a god tier Marvel movie. There's a few of them, and like this one.
Taika
Waititi.
He's in Lightyear.
Oh, okay, cool.
He's plays one of the main characters.
He's actually the problem with the movie actually. With
Korg.
Love and Thunder. Korg is in the movie way too much.
No, there's no such
He's
thing.
I'm
probably gonna love this
swear
film.
to God.
Korg's amazing.
Swear to God, mate. He's in it like almost as much as the 2 Thors. Like it's ridiculous.
It's fine.
And they basically like they've tried to recapture the kind of magic that they had with Ragnarok because they went, oh, people really like this and like the humor. Let's do more and more and more of that. And like they did too much of it, and the jokes just don't land. Like most of them, they're like hardly anyone laughed when I was in the cinema at all. Like, and there was 1 or 2 bits that me and like Bethany are like laughing hilariously at, and like everyone else is just like. But like,
Didn't get a good reception.
Didn't know it's okay. Like it's not a bad movie by any means, and the bad guy's pretty decent in it. He's pretty menacing. Christian Bale, he plays Gore really well. He's really like creepy. But yeah, not the best movie, and like the ending of it's just silly. Like it's like a wish.
People said the biggest
you
problem
get one
was
wish.
even though she played Thor, she was still made out to be the damsel in distress at some parts. It's like she's either Thor, she's
yeah, because they give her like an illness, like a long bad illness, and it makes sense that's why she's took up. But that's exactly what happened in the comics. But Natalie Portman's fucking great.
Here's a question for you, right?
Thor. She's great as Thor.
So we've just did the Comic-Con trailers. We're not going to discuss all of them. But Black Panther 2, right? They've killed off T'Challa. They said they weren't going to recast him. Do you think they're going to write it so that he actually has cancer in the movie? Because I thought that's the smartest way of doing it. That he had cancer and he didn't tell anyone about. Like literally, Chadwick Boseman's life, like what happened. I think that's what they're going to do with it.
I don't think they are. I think they're going to kill him off, give him a big hero death.
Or do you think he's going to be in the suit sort of thing and then he's going to get killed?
Yep. Because it'll be easy enough for them to do that, like because they can have him in a big battle, like save someone's life, and then like be killed by whatever, and then get a big funeral and whatever, and they can easily like compose his face onto like.
Well, they won't have his face. They'll have this costume.
Well, yeah, but like he'll die in the universe for sure. Like it's clearly set up that way. I just thought
it might be a touching way to do it if Black Panther had cancer in the movie.
I don't think they'll do that. I think they'll give them like a proper hero death.
That was a hero
But
death.
we'll see.
That could be a hero's
Oh,
death.
oh yeah, of course. But like, and I mean, I'm fighting a big enemy or like a
I
shitload
get
of people.
what you're meaning as well.
Yeah.
I just thought they would totally. That would be a way of honouring Chadwick.
They're gonna make people cry. It doesn't matter what they do.
But
Like people will
I'll
cry
tell you
in the
something-
cinema. Like
I'll
that
tell you
movie's
something.
gonna be fucking huge.
That movie's going to do numbers, man. Like,
Yeah.
and like because they've added Namor to it, who's the first mutant in the comics, but the second.
He looks a bit
stupid.
silly.
He looks worse
does,
than Aquaman. Like Aquaman was the ridiculous one, and now Aquaman's quite cool because they cast Jason
Looks
Momoa as
cool.
Aquaman.
Yep.
And
Yep.
this they've went Namor, and I don't know if it's the elf-like ears they've gave the actor, but he just it looks weird what they've done with him.
Yep. I don't know what it is. I think
Namor's
it's
an
partly
awful
his
character,
costume.
anyway.
I think it's his costume as well. These kind of like hot pants.
Hot pants on.
Oh my God.
That actor. Oh,
And normally, like when you look at like Captain America costumes and that, you're like you would think like, oh, that looks silly, but it doesn't. It looks fine in this universe. But like the hot pants on that guy, I'm just like, oh.
Like say what you like about DC, but as I've just said, they made Aquaman cool. Do you know what I mean? They did. That's one thing. If DC, like I love everything DC do. I like most Marvel things as well, but like. If they can do the Aquaman well, and Aquaman's out, nobody knows who Namor is, really. Anyway,
No.
apart from outside comic fans. But like people knew Aquaman, they ridiculed him. He was ridiculous. And DC made him cool. They cast the right guy, but not just casting the right guy, they had the right look costume for him, you know, everything was perfect. And this is a guy that wears a fish scale costume with green pants. Jason Momoa wore it and it worked.
Yep.
Like
Totally worked. Yeah.
they do Namor, who's
I think they've tried too hard to go away from like what Aquaman is. So like we need to differentiate this completely from Aquaman.
Namor was a lot more naked than Aquaman in comics. Like
He was, yeah.
he did basically wear
Always.
just like
He
speedos.
did. They've gone for like roughly a comic accurate like costume, and it looks silly.
He did have pointy ears, but when the actor turned around using the prosthetics or CGI, whatever it is, it looked really. It just didn't look right. It's almost as if they've CGI'd his ears short. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, they may have done. Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, it looked weird. And maybe the other movie that I watched was not a Marvel movie. It was Spiral from the Book of Saw.
Oh, the one that Chris Rock wrote.
Yes, and do you know what?
How generous.
This movie's fucking good. Like me and the wee one have watched all the Saw movies now, right? So like Saw 1 to 6, and then
how was Jigsaw before you talk about Spiral? Because I've not seen like 7 or Jigsaw.
Jigsaw's crap.
Is it?
It's a crap movie, yeah. They tried to reboot it, but like they tried to make it as if it was now, but it's actually like a flashback movie because the guy's still alive in it, like the Jigsaw killer guy, because he's been dead for about 5 movies in the universe.
So
like the actor isn't.
Saw?
No, Jigsaw is in the universe, but it's like part of it set before Saw 1-ish sort of time. So it's like they do a kind of weird timeline jumps in it to confuse you, but like it falls flat, I think, completely, and it's not a good movie. But Spiral's great, really good movie. Like I was really tired when I was watching it, and I fell asleep. We're like half an hour left. And Bethany finished watching it, and she's like, "Oh, that's it, finished. I'm going upstairs." And I was like, "Oh, crap, I missed the last bit." It's even normally when that happens, like I'll just be like, "All right, well, I don't really care. I don't need to know what happened." But I was like, "No, I'm gonna put the movie back like half an hour and watch like the end bit of it, and it's fucking good. Like, really enjoyed it. Like Chris Rock, it's the first time I've ever seen him in a serious movie, and he does really well in it. And like Samuel L. Jackson's in it as well
because he's in everything."
He's Chris Rock's dad in it, which is a bit weird.
I'd have put them about the same age in real life.
Well, I looked it up because I'm like, nah, they're pretty close age. But I mean, I think he's like about 18, 19 years older than Chris Rock. So like he could be his dad, technically. Yeah. So it kind of works. But yeah, I like this movie, man. Like Chris Rock is clearly he's a fan of the series, and he's went like, here's the things that work in this series, and here's the things and all the other shit that doesn't work, like all the nonsense, get rid of it. Like we need to have a bit of intrigue and a bit of drama and stuff like that. Like let's have it in there, but we need to have traps, and we need to have like a little bit of gore, but not too much, and not too many terrible characters. And like this movie actually plays out kind of. It reminded me more of something like LA Confidential or like the Negotiator type movies. Like see these like cop dramas.
Was
'Cause
Jigsaw in this one as well?
no, the Jigsaw Killer is not in this one at all, which is
So how
good
was he in the last one then?
because they did flashbacks
Oh
in the
yeah,
last
sorry,
one.
yeah.
They
Because
did
He
flashbacks.
died in like was it the
It's like
fifth or
Saw
sixth one?
4 or something. There's
4,
like
yeah.
Saw 4 he died.
And
Yeah.
then his legacy get continued on by like the cops and the girl that was dead and the needles.
Yeah, and they like the thing is with those movies, it was still kind of his plan that people were all
Yeah.
playing out, and they left all these like tapes and like you have to do this and this and this and this and like a big list of fucking things that like most normal people would be like, not fucking doing that.
Yeah.
But like they continued all these legacy for whatever reason. This is more like a kind of, it's more like a kind of copycat type thing, but it's cool the way they do it. Like I really like the way that they did this one. And yeah, Chris Rock does great in it. Like he's cast himself in his own movie, which is a kind of a faux pas, but
Yeah.
like it pays off. And like I think the way that he looks at it is probably like no one's ever going to cast me in a serious role. I want to do a serious movie, so I'm going to make it myself. And I loved it. I thought it was great. Really liked it. And the good thing about this one as well is you don't need to have seen all those other Saw movies to watch this one. You could just watch this and not bother about any of the
Does
rest
it
of them.
have
And this is
tie-ins though?
not really, no. Like it's in the same universe because like they mentioned the Jigsaw Killer in it, but it's like it's after all that stuff has already happened. So it's cool the way they did it like that. And yeah, just a good movie. Like outside of the first Saw movie, this is the best one. Like in the first Saw movie is like it's definitely not aged that well, but it's still cool to see like them go, oh shit, like I need to saw my leg off, like all that type of stuff. So like yeah, this is the best one apart from the first one.
So apparently
yeah,
Jigsaw's returning in the next movie as well. It's been scripted,
Probably.
but it's only in early stages of development.
Yeah, and I'll watch them. I will watch any of them now. Like I'm invested enough because I've seen them all.
I just
I'll watch
didn't
them.
think the quality dipped in a few of them.
It did 100%. But like Spyro is great. Watch Spyro. Like ignore the rest. That you can skip all of them.
Because it became gore porn rather than clever in some of them, and it's like this isn't really even clever what he's done. It's just brutal. Like I like the ones where it was always a puzzle and a whodunit almost and figuring out things, and then somewhere along the line, I think it was maybe 4, 5, 6 Saw round about there, it just became as let's see how gory we can get, and I'm like, this isn't even clever. It's just.
I mean, there's a bit of gore in this movie, but like I don't think it's overblown ever. But yeah, I would recommend watching Spyro. Like if you liked Saw 1, watch Spyro. It's good. It's much less nonsense. But yeah, where did he go? But yeah, and then I've started watching Resident Evil on Netflix as well. Yes. And I know you watched that whole thing. So I've watched the first 2 episodes. And I really was in the mood to watch it last night because I went to play the game and I was like, I know that I'm gonna have to like progress a certain amount before I can save this again because of the limited saves and all that shit. And I was like, because I put it on, loaded it up, and I'm like, not gonna play right now. I'm gonna go and watch Resident Evil, the TV show instead, and it's good. I liked it.
The good thing is,
definitely
again, you don't need to have played all the games to watch it.
No.
However, it uses Resident Evil up to Resident Evil 8 as its backstory. So all the games have happened. Like, and obviously I know now what happened with Wesker, because in Resident Evil 5, Wesker dies gloriously in a volcano, being shot with rocket launchers by Chris.
What? What? Okay.
And this has this Wesker did die in a volcano in this show as well.
Okay.
So there's a twist.
That's cool. It's cool that they explain that then.
Yeah, I was worried all the way through it. I'm like, he's dead. He's meant to be dead. And obviously they've recast him. He's of like a different. He's Lance Reddick now instead of looking like a neo-Nazi. And I was like, how's this happened? But this is its own universe. And in this universe, Wesker has always been Lance Reddick. You get to see Lance Reddick in '96 during the incident at the mansion. There's a flashback.
Oh, cool. That's cool. Like I was saying to you that I like this idea, but I also don't like it. Like I would love to see this just play out like straight chronological from like the beginning of where they start the show. Like not the future stuff. Like, you know,
Sort of
the
New Raccoon City when they've moved.
But yeah, see the second they move to New Raccoon City, I would love to see it from that point to the whole world go to shit. Like, I'd love to see that, but I realize that is a different show. That's The Walking Dead. Like,
And it's
basically,
that's a boring show.
and that's why they don't do it. But like, I like that kind of like long form, like, oh, the mystery, like, oh, I wonder what happened here. But I see why they've done it this way, because it's much more. They can get the action in like much quicker, like to the zombies and all that shit. Whereas like if you just had the normal stuff, all you'd have in that first episode is like someone got attacked by a dog, which isn't as interesting as like, oh, there's a shitload of zombies kicking around.
Which there is in the first episode as well.
Yeah, so that's what I mean. Like, but say if you just had the New Raccoon City stuff and you did away with the futuristic stuff, like in the after the world's gone to shit, after the end, to call it. If you didn't have that until like much later, like 2 or 3 seasons in, then I could see how some people would find that boring. I would find it good, but yeah, but like I like the show. It's cool, and that whole juxtaposition of like this whole like clean, white, fucking pristine like town. It's so perfect. Like it's too clean, and then you've got like the rundown, like absolutely wrecked city. Oh, she's in London, isn't she, or like
She's in
England?
London.
Maybe.
She's in London. Well, she's all over. She goes to France. She takes the Channel Tunnel. Can't hear you. You've muted yourself.
Oh, yeah, she meets the guy from Glasgow.
Yeah.
The guy's like, "Oh yeah, I was in Glasgow whenever it went to shit," and I'm like, "Oh, okay." He's like, "I went and hid on an island." I'm like, "This would not happen in Glasgow. Glasgow would be like, mucking moan then."
Some people might be smarter. But yeah, I love the show. I don't understand the bad reviews for it. Every second of it feels like it's Resident Evil. Lance Reddick and the 2 actors cast as his daughters are both superb. Well, 4 technically actors, because you've got the older.
Yeah, and there's the 2 kind of young girls.
Very good.
Because I wasn't sure, like, because the young girl that what's the girl's name? The main character in this?
No, it's
Billy. No, there's Billy, and then there's the other one. Billy's the younger sister.
Jade.
Well, no, actually, sorry, they're twins. Jade, right? Yeah. So, because I wasn't sure, because she's got a completely different hairstyle, I was like, is that the same actress? But it's not. It's a different actress. Right, okay.
So,
yeah, I like the show. It's good.
Like, I love really the split timelines. And the split timelines are going to continue next season. Because you think you're going to find out something. And you don't. You think it's going to happen. Like, it kind of builds you up and then pulls it back. Builds it up and then pulls it back. And any moment you think it's going to happen. And then it finishes and it's like, it's not a disappointment because you're like, oh, okay, so this is going to take longer for them to get to that point. That's fine. And there's a certain character they're going to see because they get given a note. I wouldn't want to spoil anything. Wesker's explanation is fantastic. Seeing the flashback of Lance Reddick playing Wesker. You know what Wesker looks like in Resident Evil?
Yep.
They don't hold back. Lance Reddick does it, like in the flashback. Because he is that Wesker, and he looks like Blade. He's got the hair, he's got the spiky hair and everything. Like, he looks like fucking Blade.
I've never seen that guy with hair, man. Like, he's always been bald, never seen that's man.
I don't want to don't look it up, don't spoil it for yourself, but like, you know how like Wesker in the games, he wears body armor, black trousers, and a long coat. Yep. Well, that on, with these black sunglasses, obviously, but he's white with bright blonde hair. Lance Reddick with sunglasses on and spiky hair looks like Blade.
Nice.
So I was so happy they went all in on it. It feels
so. I've got one question: are the characters from the games in the show, like Chris and Jill and that? Right. Okay.
Well, not in this season, but they exist.
Right. Okay. They're mentioned.
I never said that. I said they're not in this season.
Right. Okay.
There is a
so this is like
there is characters mentioned. Yes.
This is the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. of the Resident Evil universe. Then what you're saying?
They're going directly to meet one of the characters from a game in the last episode.
Like, Thor's over there.
No,
like, he's just over there, just off screen.
No. So yeah, what I was meaning is they're not in this season. They are. I don't want to ruin anything for you.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch it. So
Leon, Chris, Jill, Claire, all those guys are in this universe. One of the characters from the games is who they get told to go and see in the last episode.
Right. Okay.
I'm not going to ruin it. I'm not going to tell you what one it is. All those characters, like Resident Evil Village happened. Like all the way up from Resident Evil 0 to 8 has happened. And this is taking it, and they moved to New Raccoon City, and it makes sense that it's in Africa because that's where Wesker died. And I don't want to talk any more about it. But very good show. I don't understand the people not liking it. Lance Reddick's phenomenal. See once that's what happened with Wesker happens. I'm like, cool. I just didn't understand. I didn't know what they were going to do with Wesker. I didn't know the direction. And you've just got to accept that Resident Evil 1 to 8 is the backstory. But in this universe, Wesker was always Lance Reddick. He wasn't the white neo-Nazi. Yep. And that's fine to me once I understood that. I'm like, cool. He's awesome. In the first episode, when he goes, "You threatened my daughter," I'm like, he's going to go tits. And he did. He did. His
voice is so good, man. Like, his voice is quality.
Yeah, the guy, you seen the chills going up his back, and then he just basically casually threatened him, threatened the teacher, basically told him to get to fuck, and said, "I will get you sacked." So,
everyone happy then? And they're like, yep.
And I'm like, yeah, that's more like Wesker. So, yeah. I will watch it again. I didn't think it outstayed its welcome. Each episode had some nice pacing. Each episode had a ending that made you want more, like cliffhanger style. And I was satisfied with the way it ended. And I'm like, this needs to have another season as soon as possible. I really enjoyed it. Some CGI could be better. Lickers at one point weren't great. The giant caterpillar wasn't great. The dog wasn't
giant caterpillar wasn't great. The dog wasn't great, no.
But again...
Maybe that's why people don't like it, because they don't like the CG.
But how else you meant to do it? Like that... who cares? Like, Jurassic World has got worse CG than it, right? So this is fine. It works for what it was. Let them do more, because this guy said that he wants to do X, Y, and Z. I don't want you getting spoiled.
I mean, it looks like it's been popular enough, like, because it's certainly shown up in Netflix in like the top 10.
It didn't get good reviews, but I don't give a shit. It was good.
I don't think it matters if it got good reviews or not, as long as people watched it.
If there's eyes on it, Netflix will
if there's eyes on it, Netflix will do more, yeah, definitely.
But I thought it was absolutely superb. I loved most actors in it. Some choice you're like, why would you do that? Not casting wise, I mean like the characters' choices they do, especially at one point where they get to a boat. I'm like, don't do that. That's a silly mistake. But yeah, there's more CGI for you coming up. I forgot about the boat until I just spoke about it there. But the boat's not CGI.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch. I'm gonna watch the rest of it. I'm actually more compelled to finish watching this than I am to go back and watch the second half of that New Raccoon City movie, or Welcome to Raccoon City.
This is better
movie. Yeah, I think it's better, which is weird because like I like the idea of that movie. Like it being the first two games, yeah. I like the idea of that, and I like what's her name, Kaya Scholar-Naradi, or however you say her name. I like her; she's cool in Skins, and like from what I watched, some of the dialogue in it was like straight out of the games, but maybe that's not necessarily a good thing.
The guy from Black Sails and Umbrella Academy plays Wesker in it. The casting was fine. Like Stephen Amell was not Stephen Amell. What's his cousin?
Robbie.
He looks like Chris Redfield. He was a good choice to play Chris Redfield. So I don't think it's getting another one. I don't
know what is wrong with that movie. Like, but this show seems better.
They
for
fucked
sure.
up Leon. Leon's not meant to have a wee silly goatee like that in the first place. Like, and he wasn't meant to be like a bumbling idiot either. Like they portrayed him to be so stupid in this. Like. The newbie, get the newbie to do it and all this. In the games, he never even made it to his first day. He got there and the Raccoon City was all to shit. And he was competent. It was his first day on the job, but he was competent enough what he did. This is portrayed to be like, oh, get him to go out and get the tea sort of guy who didn't like that at all for Leon. But
yeah, that rolls nicely into the game that I've been playing, which is Resident Evil HD.
The director's cut?
No, not the director's cut, the HD version on PS4. So I've gotten to the residence now. So I've completed the mansion, and I'm now in the residence. Well, yeah. I'm guessing I'll go back later because I still need to go underneath it because there's still a locked grate like in the main bit.
You're
So
all going to die down here.
oh my god. But yeah, so now I'm in the residence. I've been going around that and exploring it, and I've just found a fucking bit with sharks. Like sharks are chasing me for some reason. I'm like, what is this? That's what as far as I've gone up to. The game got me so fucking good today twice with the same fucking thing.
Scales.
I was so annoyed. Scales, yeah, genuine, like, holy fuck, scales, right? So, like, I was going, I walked along and was going into, like, climb over a box, and then this fucking tentacle just come out of nowhere. And I was like, oh shit, crap myself. So I grabbed, like, a box, and I pulled it, and I pushed it over, and it went over the hole where the tentacle come out of, and I'm like, cool, I'm sorted. Went the way through a door, did a wee bit in pieces, then had to come back through, climbed over the box, and then fucking tentacle again! And it got me twice. And like it was the same tentacle, but like out of a different hole. And because I thought I was safe, and I was not fucking safe. Like, oh my god.
Same tentacle,
And
different hole. That's the name of your
well,
autobiography.
sure. But like, I've also worked out what it is that makes this game scary for me. And it's not the visuals, and it's not like the jump. It's not the jump scares, and it's not even really the camera angle. It's the sound. The sound is insane, and like I'm not wearing headphones or anything like that. Like, just the fucking sound is so creepy, and it's just got you on edge completely just because of the sound.
Do you know what I thought?
It's the sound. It's genius. Like the sound is fucking incredible the way they've done it.
The load screens add tension as well. See with
With the doors, yeah, definitely.
You don't know what's behind each door. Like even rooms you've been in could now have something new in it, and it's like,
yep,
right, what's going through? And you go through, and it's like, okay, there's nothing. Then sometimes you hear, and you're like, where the fuck is that coming from? Yeah.
I just found giant spiders as well, which like the giant spiders fine. I don't care about those. But there's so many times where like I'll go in a room where I've been in it before, and I'm like, I know there's nothing in here, and then like all of a sudden there's like fucking zombie running at me, and I'm like, or like like 5 zombies jump in through a window. Like what the fuck? I know there's like in one of the later games there's windows you can board up or something, so you can stop them coming in.
Resident Evil 2 remake, you can do that.
Yeah. But I don't know if that's better because now then I'll be worrying about having to run around fucking board up windows with bits of wood. And worry about carrying bits of wood. Like, oh, that was already like scaring me thinking about it. But yeah, like I couldn't believe that, man. Like, I thought I was over the scales in this game, and this fucking plant bastard got me twice at the same point. Like, oh my god, shat myself. But that's the kind of like that's the good thing of this game, like, because that's what it's supposed to do, and like. Maybe you wouldn't be scared by it now at all because like it's crap graphics compared to what we see now.
The graphics aren't terrible. I'm playing Switch handheld and they look pretty good there.
Oh well, yeah, but it's like PS3, PS2 sort of. Absolutely, yeah, but like I shouldn't be scared by this anymore.
No. You should be like this looks ridiculous.
Yeah, I should be like this is like a cartoon. Like it's not fucking scary at all. But as like Last of Us, yeah, okay, I can see like everything's fucking like absolutely real. So I feel, but I've been genuinely way more scared in this game than I ever was in any of the Last of Us games. Like 100%. Like Last of Us just makes you kind of feel on edge the whole time. Like this game, I feel is fucking scary, and maybe it's because I haven't played it before and I don't know what's coming. But like stuff will happen like that, and I'm like, oh no. And then that just puts me like because shit like that happens, it just keeps me on edge, and I'm like. I never feel relaxed playing this game at all, which is yeah, it's like a good place to be, but like also it's a struggle to play the game at times. I'm like, I need to get into the right mode.
It's phenomenal. Like, I've never finished this version of the game. I finished the original version, and this version's different enough that I'm lost now. So I was playing it on holiday, and I got a couple of the death masks. I got the one where you end up going outside. There's the shiny bit you see before you go down the stairs, and I got through that door. I've been, because if you check your map in this game, it says in progress or cleared, like green or red.
Yep.
So if it's red, you know you've missed something or you need to go back. So I ended up just going through every room on the second floor till it was all green. I'm like, okay, that's done. But now I'm on the first floor, and every room I can get to is green.
Hmm.
And I'm like, I've no idea like what to do next. Well, I do kind of an idea because I got to the plant,
Hmm.
and obviously I vaguely remember poisoning the water, and you were like, yeah, you still have to do that. And then I'm like, I can't find the shit, and you're like, it's on a balcony, and I'm not looking it up, and I'm like, I've been to every room that I can find, and see by the time you've done them all, you're like, even if I find this, I'm gonna have to use a save because of the amount of time. So I'd be better off finding it, turning it off, and not wasting an ink ribbon, and then just going straight there because I've cleared the entire second floor, like of zombies, of items. It's all green, and I'm now on the first floor again, and I'm like, I can't find this fucking poison to put in the plant water. So I didn't play it for a couple of nights, but it's just showing you that like this is a 20-year-old game. It looks great on Switch. I'd probably recommend playing it on Switch more than consoles at the moment if you can, because the handheldness of it improves.
Or Steam Deck, maybe? Steam Deck, I'm sure
Steam
it's on
Deck.
that.
It would be on Steam, yeah. Because some part of it, I know it's been remastered. It's not been touched up that much. And it still looks okay. It doesn't look horrible. It's not from the era of, 3D was really suffering like Resident Evil original version. But it's still not from the current gen style graphics. So I still want a remake down the line, but there's something about the controls as well being designed that way, and I'm sure this was a thing that they made them like that to make you feel uncomfortable as well.
Probably, yeah.
Even though it's not tank controls in this one, it still doesn't feel natural fluid movement at all.
Especially when you're aiming this like up, down, like fuck me, man.
Absolutely.
It's difficult to do when there's like a zombie coming straight at you.
Yeah.
And like even with auto aim on, like still intense when there's a zombie coming at you.
So it is a good game. If you can see it, pick it up and buy it. Give it a shot. Resident Evil Zero's worth a go as well. It came out after this, but it's very similar to it. The coolest thing about that game is you don't need to use item boxes, and I forgot.
Whoa, okay.
You can drop your items anywhere and come back for them.
Right.
So in that game, at one point, I had a room that was all my health items, chucked them all in there, so I knew that was helpful. I had a room with all the ammo, so that if I was coming up to a bit, I'm like, this game's suddenly giving me a lot of ammo. There's going to be a boss somewhere, because Resident Evil tells you through that, basically. And if you read the notes, it's the people working on whatever you're about to fight talking about it. So in Resident Evil Zero, I just used to go back and just drop my stuff. Like, there you go. And when you come back, it's there. And Darren is playing it tonight. He started it last night, and he's never played it before. And he's been stuck a few times already, but he's really enjoying it. He's like, how come the train crashed and all my items survived? I'm like, you're talking about a game. You're talking about a game that has got magic teleporting item boxes. You've got the dead resurrecting. You've got giant killer caterpillars, and you're worried about how items survived a train crash, which is the most least likely in this scenario to happen. And he went, you've got a point.
Has he watched the TV show yet?
I don't know.
Because he likes Resident Evil a lot. I'd be interested to see if he likes the TV show.
He's finished Resident Evil 8 in 2 hours.
Yeah. But like I like this game a lot, but like it's taken me a long time to get through because it's fucking intense for me to play it.
I would say it's
really
intense. I'd say for
me,
I
feel like it's intense.
Which is
like I can feel my heart like thumping when I was playing this game earlier, man. Like,
I mean, it's a horror game.
not even joking.
Because I heard when I was up getting my stuff, you saying that you found it scarier than Last of Us, but Last of Us wasn't horror really. It was survival action. It didn't have horror. It had horror elements, whereas this was the original survival horror game. I think Alone in the Dark predated it for 3D.
I just didn't expect it to still be scary like now.
It's not scary
when it's like 20-year-old.
It's atmospheric.
Well, it's scary to me. Like I find it fucking scary.
What I find is, compared to Resident Evil 3 remake that I just finished before Revelations, it's very difficult to find out where to go next. I think there's one instance in the game.
Yeah.
I think it was the serum for.
The serum, it tells you, like, it points you to the room. It's like, go back to that room. You're like, oh, for fuck's sake. It's all the way over there.
And it's on a shelf that you previously searched and there was nothing on it. It's like,
there's nothing on it, yeah.
Get the fuck. So that's obviously why it felt like, oh, we better tell them now. But it's like, you can spend an hour in this game aimlessly wandering and achieve nothing. And it's like, and it's because it's so difficult in some sections to remember where places are.
Yep.
And
And also they do weird things with doors, like where you can only go through them one way, and like it's like, oh, the door's locked, you can't go through.
and then a door handle falls off, and I'm like,
Yeah,
why? What was the point in that?
right
Like,
next to the save pot, the save room. Like that is annoying. That one, like
because
that
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 takes you
pissed
back
me
to the
off.
main hall, and I'm like,
You
why?
have to go all the way around. Yep,
Just annoying. Because see, I'm
yep,
at the stage now where I've cleared that path of zombies,
yep,
and I'm like, why can't I just open the door again? It's
yep.
just irritating that I have to take all this time to go
Do you,
round.
because do you know what I would do? Like in World, if that was me, I'd just fucking prop that door open like with a fire extinguisher,
It's a
like
wooden
a
door.
chair. Yeah,
Kick it down.
kick it down. Yeah, yeah. But if the door got stuck when it closed, I would just
Yeah,
jam it open with something.
because it tells you this door handle has got few uses left. Do you want to open it? I think you get 2 or 3 uses and then it
Yeah.
breaks.
It
So
breaks,
see if
yeah.
your character in game knows the door handle's going to break. Like you said, stick something there to hold it open. There's boxes right next to that save room.
Yeah.
Pull
Plus,
one of
it
them
still
in.
opens the other way. It still opens.
Yeah,
You can go through it the other way, fine, no problem. Just keep it open.
real
Silly.
annoying. So yeah, you're right. It does confuse you a lot. Um,
I think they do things like that deliberately though, so that you have to keep going round in circles and all over the place.
it's to disorientate you. It's
Yep.
because the the mansion was designed by Spencer as a labyrinth. Like it was meant to be like that to confuse people, so they would never find like
Yep.
the lab and stuff like that.
Hmm.
So, I mean, I still haven't came across Lisa Trevor, who wasn't even in the original game yet. Obviously, I know
Yeah, I found her. Yeah.
obviously I know who she is. The last thing that I remember that I did, and this is further than I've ever been, because I've owned this on most consoles as well. It was the bit with the paintings, where you had to change the colour
Oh
within a
yeah, with
room,
the crows.
and it
The
had
crows
Lisa,
put up above it.
and
Hmm.
then the crows come out, but it had
Yeah.
Lisa, and I'm like, this is clever because this wasn't in the original one, and it was like she had a say purple crown, green bracelet, and gold necklace
Yep.
or whatever it was,
Yep.
and each of the posters you had to shine the light through different ways to get the right
Yep.
colour, and I figured that out quite easily, and I was like, well, not easily. It took me a minute or two, and I was like, that's what it's wanting me to do. Because at first I was just trying to make them all white, because when you read the first painting, it says bring them all to the light, and I'm like, okay, white, white, but I think it just meant turn the light on.
Yeah.
And then you do it, and then the fucking bastard and crows come out, and even though I've got like 10 herbs, I'm like, I'm gonna have to use a herb here. Oh, I'm gonna have to use a herb here because I'm on yellow, I'm on caution. Oh, I'll just use a herb because the crows fucking take forever to kill. They're above you. You can't see them half the time. They're out of shot.
Yep.
It's like car, car, car. So I killed them, and then I got nothing for that section. And I'm like, or did I get something?
No, because you should be able to open the door at that point.
Yeah, I did, and that's how I get out to get. That's how you get the death mask.
Yeah.
That's how
You want the death
you
mask
get the
there,
second
yeah.
death mask. So I've got the second death mask. And then I got back, and I'm like, what the fuck? Obviously, I need more death masks now, and I'm like, okay, there's nowhere else for me to go except past that fucking plant that keeps whipping me.
Hmm.
And I'm like, I need to put stuff in the fucking water. And
Yep.
I'm like, I can't find the stuff to put in the water. And I don't want to look it up because it seems as if it should be so obvious.
It's not on a balcony, it's on the ground floor. Because I remember there were dogs outside it. Like it's one of the bits with the railings
Yeah.
outside.
I'll need to just go and have another explore at it because I do want to finish this version of it because it's a whole new game. Well, it's a remake. It's 90% or something like that, or 80% of the puzzles are all changed from the first game.
Right.
I think it was the same for Resi 2 and 3. Resi 3 was very different because I remember that a lot more clearer because I didn't enjoy Resi 1, the original, as much as I did Resi 3. I like Resi 1 better than 2, definitely. But what you'll find is the series, every episode, because your plan is to play through the Resi games, obviously now at least till the remake of 4. So the games get more and more actiony as they go. So sadly, there's less and less puzzle solving, more and more just shoot the zombies, like till it.
So like I do like the puzzles, but I do think they're way too obtuse.
Some of them,
Like there's a
yes.
lot of them I've had to look them up to be like, what? And I don't understand why I'm doing the thing I'm doing, but like they
Do you want
work.
to know my prediction is? My prediction is you'll like Resident Evil 2 the best, and then that'll be replaced by Resident Evil 4. I've just got that feeling that's what your favourites are going to be, even though 5 is better than 4. But I'm talking about the 4 remake. So, like, Resident Evil 2's still got puzzles. Resident Evil, that they're not anywhere near the level of Resident Evil 1 puzzles. Resident Evil 3's It didn't really have many puzzles. Resident Evil 4, I don't think it's got any. And then 5 and 6 are just basically action games in the Resident Evil universe. And then 7 brought it back to kind of more puzzle based. And then
Yeah.
8 went fuck it again. It's like, so you'll find it's weird. So like basically every game, once you finish this one down, gets less and less puzzly. Unless you go, I know you said you weren't, but Zero's got just as much puzzles as 1. Because I think I'm going to probably do 0. Maybe. Just while I'm in the mind, because I don't want to jump to 2 because then I won't want to go back to 0. But while I'm playing 1 and I'm used to the graphics, I'm probably going to finish 0 because I've not finished it before at all. Whereas 1, 2, 3, I've finished the originals anyway, and I've finished the remake of 3. So, but no, I'm glad you are liking it because I was very surprised that you've been playing it on and off. And when you said the last time that it really grabbed you finally. Like, I think it's once you feel progress in Resident Evil, you're like, oh, fucking finally. But you could have spent the last 2 hours going round in a circle.
I know, like, and it was the limited saves, but now I've found like plenty of ribbons. I don't feel quite as like bad about that because I want to save all the time, and I have to stop myself from saving.
Then you have to judge, have I done enough just now to justify a save? And it's very difficult to do that in this game because you could save and then find out, oh, you're just about to finish a puzzle. And it's like, you fucker, I could have saved after this.
Yep.
So yeah, I'm not sure what my plan is in that, but I think I'm going to still chip away at that, and I'm going to still chip away at Xenoblade Chronicles 1, because even though Xenoblade Chronicles 3 is dispatched, I ain't going to play it. I can't play it when I've not finished the original.
Yeah, that sucks, man. But yeah, you've ordered it now, so it's
I ordered
coming.
it donkeys ago and I forgot, and it's been shipped, so it could arrive
The
tomorrow.
only other game that I played that I wanted to mention was I played some more. I can't remember if I spoke about this before. Power Wash Simulator. I know you spoke about this.
I reviewed it for the Xbox.
Yeah. So I played this right with Ian a couple of weeks ago, and I played a bit more with Ian and Mark. And when I was playing with Ian, got on great. We did the van and we did the garden. That was all fine. The garden took fucking ages,
man,
forever. But then we tried doing like a 3-player game, and we did the gnome fountain, and that was a mess because the game kept crashing.
Yeah,
like
they're working on issues
over and over and over. But it would only crash for me when I tried to clean a gnome. So see if I would just like cleaning.
They fixed the gnome issue.
Weird.
Apparently,
right? Why is that? What the fuck is that?
Well, it's an indie game, and like they're working on fixes. But like, see after the garden, like, because I played it myself because obviously it was before it was launched. I was like, I'm so done, man. Like in the garden, I found it very hard to see like where bits are, but overall, I really, really did like. I really liked the game all in.
So the reason I wanted to play was like, just actually before we were coming on tonight, I was like, I fancy just going and washing, like doing some power washing, like that'll be chill after playing that intense Resident Evil for like an hour. I'm like, I need to just power wash something. So like I was like, yeah, I'll jump in, I'll try the next level in the career. Went into the career, and it's like, clean the van. And I was like, I fucking cleaned the van already, mate. I cleaned the fucking garden. Where's the next level? But you know what this game does? It commits the cardinal fucking sin that I hate of when you're playing a multiplayer game in someone else's game.
It doesn't save the progress.
It doesn't progress for both people. It only progresses for the host. So it looks at me and it's like, you've never played this game before. Clean that fucking van. And I'm like, oh,
that's awful.
I did clean the van, and the van took me no time at all this time. It took me maybe like 10 minutes, whereas when me and Ian cleaned it, it took us like half an hour at least. Like I don't know why, but like two of us, yeah. But yeah, me cleaning it on my own took like 10 minutes. I'm like, oh okay, like that was much easier because I knew exactly like how much of it I had to clean before it would be like, yeah, that's fine. Because you don't have to clean every single last bit of dirt off of stuff. You can leave little bits. No, but like to get it to 100%, like sometimes you'll get it to clean and then it's like, bing, it goes away.
I found the slabs in the garden, you had to do most of them to get 100%. But yeah, you're right, on the van you didn't. But no, if I was playing, I didn't get to play co-op because it wasn't available when I was reviewing it, but like, I think the fun modes would be better, or the free play modes would be better
Yeah,
playing
yeah,
with
yeah.
friends in that case, because I hate when games don't save the campaign.
Yep.
It's really
Because
annoying.
that really annoyed me. Because like now I'm like, oh, I need to clean the garden because I don't think like I will want to play the next levels or whatever with me. And
Yeah.
in the campaign's only like 2-player co-op. And usually we play like 3-player. So
But it's not
I'm
really
like,
co-op
well,
if like if it doesn't reward the other person by going, okay, you've passed this level.
yeah, like I'm just helping him
Did you
play
get to
his
keep your
game.
money at least in your upgrades that you bought?
I'm not sure. I didn't buy any upgrades, so I'm not sure if I got to keep the money. Not sure.
There's
I
some
need to
fun
check.
levels later on in the game. I would like to play that co-op just to try it out with you at some point, or whoever. But like,
Yeah,
um, I thought it was fun, man. It's some relaxing. But do you understand what I said about? I wish it had HD haptics, like for the Rumble. Like some,
I actually don't like the Rumble.
yeah, no,
And
that's why I'm
it's
saying the haptics would be better for it because it would feel more
got you.
realistic. Because you
So
would actually feel like you were using a power hose if you were in a
yeah.
DualSense.
So see what I end up doing after a while is like rather than using the trigger to like scoosh the hose, I'll just push I think it's right on the D pad and it just shoots the hose and you don't need to push the trigger button. It just gives you a constant stream and then you just have to aim.
Yeah,
I'm like,
no,
yes, this is me. And it doesn't vibrate like because it only vibrates when you start firing it. So like it doesn't. This just vibrates one time and then that's it, and you're just aiming, which I like. Unless you change
they
like your nozzle.
100% should do a crossover with Splatoon.
Sure, yeah. Like the platoon guy comes in and he's like,
Yeah,
paints
because
everywhere,
obviously it's
and
little
then the guy comes in
Cash
and
and
he's like,
stuff.
I need
Yeah,
to clean it all off.
that'd be
Yeah,
funny. Like Power
that
Wash
would work.
Simulator X Splatoon, like
Yeah,
for the launch of Splatoon 3, and have one bonus
be
level
great.
come out that's covered in paint
Yeah,
that you have to clean.
but it would only be on Nintendo.
Yeah, because they wouldn't allow Splatoon on anybody else.
Is this game even on Nintendo?
No, it's not on Switch. Because
Hmm.
I wanted it on Switch because with motion control I could see it being pretty
It
fun.
would make sense for it to come to Switch with a Splatoon crossover. To be fair, so. But yeah,
That might be
I
why
do
it's held
like it.
back.
But maybe I do like it, but that just annoyed me that I had to replay the levels. But it
Oh
was
yeah,
fine.
sucks in games when that happens.
Yep. We didn't play anything else.
Cool. So let's talk about PSVR 2 news before we wrap it up. PSVR 2 with some more news today, Andy. Did you read it?
Like I had a quick glance over, but they still didn't fucking reveal the
They
price or
didn't
the
reveal
release
the
date.
price or the release date, but they did have some nice information that you can switch a mode on where you can see your surroundings as you
Yep.
game.
Hmm.
And they've also confirmed that it'll be 90 hertz, 360-degree viewing angle, which is awesome. And also that you can record with the camera now while
Yep.
you're in VR. And they also said for standard games, and I think you can do this in the original VR, you can play it in a virtual cinema.
Yep. Yep.
So that was already there. But yeah, I was very surprised that we didn't get the price point or anything like that.
Yeah, I mean, they can't. It can't be this year now.
It'll be next year at this point if they've not announced it.
Yeah, like if they were giving you the price point on
Now
that
you'd
now, then
think
I could see
Christmas.
it being sure Christmas. But like if they're waiting to like October or something like that to put out the price, it's not coming out till next year. Definitely, like it'll come out March next year or something, which is a shame. But like there's God of War and stuff coming out this year, so they're probably like Sony's probably focused on that and waiting for VR till next year. It's fine.
Maybe they're waiting on some titles to get finalised for it, like better titles.
Yeah, and I think I would just like to know how the backwards compatibility is going to.
Oh, lost you. We lost Andy. Is he back? We're still live. We've just lost Andy. I think Andy was going to say that he was interested in the backwards compatibility there. I'll give him a minute to see if he comes back. What's to finish what he was saying, but I don't know. We might have lost Andy. Might have lost Andy. I'll give him a text. His internet dropped out. So anyway, thank you very much for tuning in and watching. We will be back next week with another show to talk about everything gaming related. If you have watched this, then give us a comment. What do you think about PSVR 2? How much do you think it's going to cost since we didn't get a price point? And are you replaying Resident Evil? Did you like the Netflix show? Didn't you? Let us know. Thank you very much anyway, on behalf of myself and Andy.